Alright, hello from my garage. So here we have the Rabaconda street tire changer. It's a newer item that they released. I just got it. I haven't used it yet. I've put it together. I did have to change out some accessories for my particular type of wheel that we'll get into. But I've watched the videos that Rabaconda's put out and a couple other sponsored videos, and they make it look very easy. But as I've seen with a lot of other products, they usually make it look pretty easy, and then you buy it, and it's not so easy. So I want to do a real review of, a real user just buying this product. Let's see how easy it actually is to use, what kind of problems that I'll run into, and yeah, just want to give a real perspective on this product. So as you can see, I already set it up. I was going to do a video on the setup, but honestly it's so easy. It's really just a couple pieces. You clip them together. You got these little quick release levers. Goes together in no time, really. It's not even really worth doing a video on. What I will go over is we'll go over the cost. So it is expensive. I bought the starter kit. They have a couple different tiers. You can buy just the machine if you want. It's a little bit cheaper. I bought the starter kit. It comes with a couple of accessories, some bead grease, a brush, some drop center tools, a couple little things that you're probably going to want unless you already have them. I also, because I'm going to be working on the rear wheel from a BMW R1200 GS that has cross-spoke rims, and it's a shaft drive. So if you have just a standard bike with cast wheels, chain drive, you don't need to buy any of these extra accessories. You can just, the machine will work for you. If you've got something that's a little bit weird, shaft drive, single-sided swing arm, cross-spoke wheels, they have adapters and things like that that you're going to need to buy. So the starter kit with the machine and a couple of accessories was $623. And then for the BMW, and also if you have, they offer another for Ducati, but like any bike with a single-sided swing arm for the rear wheel or shaft drive, you're going to need one of these adapters here. And all this is just two pieces that screw together. They fill in the hole in the middle of the wheel, and then they have a hole in the middle that fits into the post here. The post itself does have this little cone, so if you have different size wheels, it'll make them all fit. The other accessory I had to buy is a different duck head, which I've already changed out. You do have to swap it out onto the arm. That's right here. This is the piece that actually you're going to use to take the tire on and off the rim. Because of the cross-spoke wheels, you need a longer one that extends out a little bit. The one that comes with it standard should be good for regular cast wheels, but if you've got these cross-spoke wheels, you're going to need to buy this extra piece, and that is another $45. I also bought a couple of, on the tire lever, you got plastic protectors, rim protectors. They wear out, so I bought a pack of 5 for $17. The total price that I paid, what I'm into this for, is $704. I did have a $20 coupon that somebody gave me. Alright, so I'm going to bring my wheel in. I've already taken it off the bike, and let's start getting the old tire off. Alright, here's the rear wheel off my bike. We got it off the bike, comes off easy, couple bolts. So I'm doing the rear wheel, because the video I saw, they did a front wheel, which tends to be a bit easier because it's a larger diameter, so it's a little more flexible. It's also a skinnier tire, skinnier rim, much easier to work with. Rear tires, especially ones that are a smaller diameter than the front, tend to be harder, stiffer tire. What I've got here is a Metzler Torrance Next 2. It's actually not in that bad a shape. But my front tire is smoked, and I wanted to try something that's maybe a little more, going to handle a little bit better on the dirt roads. This thing slides around quite a bit, and I ride on a lot of dirt roads. So we are going to dismount this. So first thing we got to do, as I mentioned, you see on these shaft drive wheels, they have a big hole in the center. So it's not going to fit on the stand as it comes. So you got to buy this adapter. It actually, I think it works two ways. It's got a 72 millimeter side, and I think the other side is a 68 millimeter or 62. Okay, so mine is actually the 62 millimeter side. I don't know what bike the 72 is for. They also have a different adapter for Ducatis. So you'll need a different size for those. But it's pretty simple. It's got this lip, fits right in there nice and tight, and then you just screw on the other side. So let's see how easy this is to get on. Alright, it's on there nice and tight. And it does seem to be like plasticized, so it shouldn't scratch up your rim or anything. Which everything on here seems to be. Any contact point, you got these are actually magnetic rubber stoppers here. One on the top, one on the bottom, to protect your rim. So they do seem to go out of their way to make sure that you won't scratch up rims if you've got fancy rims on your bike. So let's pop this on here. Alright, those are set up nice and easy. So to start the process, the first thing you got to do is pull your valve core. Now this is something that you're going to have to buy separate. It does not come with the kit. I have one from doing dirt bike wheels. You're going to want to pull your valve core out to deflate the tire, so we'll do that. So we'll wait for that to deflate. You can already feel the tires much softer. Then you have to set, this right here is the bead breaker to loosen the tire up. You have to set the height of it. So it has a quick release here, and you're going to want to get it on the sidewall, above the rim, so you don't have to be hitting the side. So it's not adjusted correctly. You got a quick release lever here, so we'll loosen that up, and we'll drop this guy down to where about that looks good. Tighten it up. Alright. Now I think I'm going to need to be a little bit higher, because I think when I snap this down it's going to hit the rim. So, got to get this adjustment just right. Let's try that. One thing they recommend in the video is to have soapy water and spray it all around the bead before you start trying to dismount. Really before you start trying to do anything. You want to get that bead nice and soaked in soapy water just to make it a little more slippery. So we'll go ahead and do that. This is just dish soap and water. And really try to get it in there. Other thing about this bike is it does have a tire pressure monitoring system, as a lot of modern bikes do. So on the valve, on the inside, there's a little device here that reads the tire pressure. So you do want to be careful around that, particularly with this bead breaker. So if you're going to be hitting it in that area, you probably want to hit it to the left and hit it to the right. Don't go right over where that sensor is going to be, because this thing could damage it. Alright, so let's try and do the first bite here and see how easy it is. And there goes the first problem. I am not correctly adjusted, so I do have to move this up a little bit more. When I push down on it, it looks like it's correctly set up, but it hits the rim. So I'll move it up a bit. So you got to give yourself a little more room, because as you push it, you'll get down there. Alright, let's try again. Alright, I think we got it. Sometimes you'll hear a pop. In this case, I felt it pop, and you could hear some more air come out. So now you just got to spin this wheel around on here and just keep breaking that bead as you go around. We get to the tire pressure monitor, so I'm going to go past it, go on the other side, and just keep going all the way around. Next step is going to be, we got to pull this off, flip it over, and do the same thing on the other side. Again, being mindful of where the tire pressure sensor is. There we go. Alright, so we've broken the bead on both sides now. So the next step is going to be removing the tire from the rim. Alright, so now for getting the tire off the rim. We're going to use this tool. It's called a duck head. You can see it actually kind of does look like the head of a duck. So it goes on this way over the pin, and you need to get the bead of the tire up and over this like duck bill looking part, and then go around with it, and it should pull the tire right off the rim. And then we got to do the same thing for the other side, but you don't flip the wheel over, you do it all from one side. Alright, so this does have a little adjuster on here to adjust the height for different size wheels. So you want to start with that loose so that this can move up and down. Not so loose that it falls off. So again, I did have to change this part off, this duck head out, because the one that it comes with is set up for standard wheels, and these are the spoke wheels, so you need the one that extends out further. They also really stress using a lot of soapy water on this phase, both on the duck head and on the tire itself, to try and make things really slippery so that it'll come off nicely. And they say do not use the included tire lube that you'll use for mounting, and the reason for that is that it actually can, when it starts to dry, it gets a little bit sticky, and it could make things more difficult. So for this step, just your soapy water. So get back in here, now that we got this thing off the bead, I can really spray it in there good. And go all around. Almost seems like it's not broken in good enough. So we can use this for some leverage here. Now, another important thing they said with tire pressure monitor is you want to have it at the tire valve to be at a 3 o'clock position, and you start the duck head at a 6 o'clock position. So we'll get it on here, and then we can spin the whole thing around. So I have it right now, it's at what would be 9 o'clock, but I'm going to try and get this in here at 12 o'clock. So we slide it over this part right here. And it looked like, they didn't really explain it, but from watching, it looked like they kept this loose, this adjustment, until they actually got it in there underneath the bead. Let me grab my lever here. And we're going to soap up this duck head, get it nice and slick. Alright, let's see if we can get it underneath there. This is part of it. They may look very easy, but I suspect is not as easy as it looks. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to take our lever, and you see these levers have nice plastic covers on them. Let's get in there. There you go. Just flip it around. I'll get this on here. So this is part of the process that they made look incredibly easy in their YouTube video. I'm not finding it to be that easy. So you get this whole piece underneath the bead here. Now for some reason on this particular wheel, this side looks looser than this side does. It's like pushed in off the rim. Let me try and use the bead breaker again to just hammer down on that a little bit. Let's see if we can get this side more loose. Alright. It does look like it's worked in a little bit more. Let's put this back on here. Perhaps I can use both these at the same time. No, I cannot do that. So we'll keep using this lever. This plastic cover on the lever does make it a little more difficult to actually get it in there. Ah, there we go. Okay, so it seems like the trick is to actually lift this up a little bit and push it in and then slide it down to snap it onto the bead of the rim. You can't just get it straight in there. So that's what I was doing wrong. But again, something they didn't really show in their video that was necessary. So now we'll take our lever and we'll try to get this over the head of the duck. Alright. Almost there. Alright, let's try going over the duck's head. It does bend a little bit, which makes me kind of nervous. But let's see if we can get it over that way. Okay, there we go. I think we got it. There it goes. All right. So now their instruction was to spin this around so that it's at 6 o'clock. So I'll do that now. Oh, also, don't forget, we got to tighten this up. So this keeps this from moving up and down now that it's locked in position. So we'll spin this around to 6 o'clock. Alright, there we go. Now, this is another difference that you have to do for the spoked rims. For standard rims, this comes with a pin. That's a rubber-coated metal pin that fits in here, and it just hits the spoke so that the wheel can't spin while you're going around cranking it. But for spoked wheels, you can't use that because it'll damage the wheel. So instead, they include this strap here. And they say you're supposed to take this strap and bring it around the bottom of the machine and wrap it around a spoke. But they want you to go for a spoke that's straight so that you're not putting a side load on the spoke. You want to put it down here so it's just kind of holding it at a straight angle. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And this just looks like a standard cam strap that I used to tie down my bikes in the back of my truck. So let's try this out. I got a nice straight spoke here. We'll go underneath and then come behind. Sorry, I can't really get an angle to show you this. Now they claim that they've never damaged a spoke using this method. I hope they're correct. We will try. And if we do damage it, I guess I'll be paying to get a wheel fixed. Alright. Now you're going to take off your arm from your bead breaker. It's pretty easy, just twists, comes right out. And you slide that into here. Now it doesn't lock in. would have liked felt locked into place would be nice. But get that out of the way. You're just going to crank it around, and as you go around, it just will pull the tire right off the rim. So again, you'll see I have this at 6 o'clock. My tire valve is at 3 o'clock. So that's the method that they say you're supposed to use. I'm just going to spray a little more soapy water in there, just to make this as easy as it can possibly be. Soap is cheap. And get it on that duck head too. Alright, let's see how this goes. Get things out of the way. Alright, as you get to the end, that gets pretty easy. Alright, so we got one side off. Now we got to get, that was really easy, so I'm happy to see that. Now we got to get the other bead from the back side here, same thing up over that duck head, but we got to work kind of inside the tire. So good thing to do is make sure that this bead is in the center of the rim, and what that's going to do is going to make the tire kind of loose, because the center of the rim is further in, it's a smaller diameter than the outside. So we put the opposite side into that drop center of the rim, and we'll take our lever. It's going to be tough because you got to kind of try to see in here. I'm not going to be able to show you. Let me get my stool here. It's probably easier if I take this out in one time. Oh, my thing came loose here. Alright. Let's tighten that back up. Alright, I guess you gotta make sure you really tighten that down good. Alright, now we just gotta try and grab that opposing bead from the inside and pull it over that head of the duck, if you will. Got that. This part's always a pain when I do it on dirt bike tires, getting the other side off. My thing is spinning here, which I don't want it to do. I think you have to go right over the head of the duck with the lever. It makes me a little nervous because it does bend, and I don't love that. But try and get in here. Feel the lever on the other side. Maybe, let's see, if I can get this side of the bead over this, that'll kind of hold it a little bit. Okay, now let's see if we can grab that. Got it. Does want to snap back though, so I'm gonna keep this lever on this for just while I start spinning it. We'll keep that lever in place, and then as we start getting around, maybe I can pull it out. Let's see if that works. So I'll put this arm back in. Hold on to this. Yeah, well, we lost it. Alright. Let's see if it'll grab. If I put some more pressure on this. Alright. This is not as easy as it looks in the video. Alright, we're starting to get it off. Let me see if I can pull this lever out. Maybe that'll make it a bit easier going around. It's coming, but it's not as easy as it looks. So I'm going to spray some soapy water on this side too, which I guess I neglected to do. make sure we get everything nice and wet. Alright, let's try it again. I did have the machine starting to move a little bit on me when I was doing this. Let's see if it holds still. Okay, seems to have made some progress there. And there we go. Alright, tire is off. Alright, well, I will come back because I actually have to change a battery in a tire pressure monitor that's gone dead. So give me a while to do that, and we'll come back and we will mount the new tires. Alright, we're back. So I cleaned up my rim, I had to take all my old wheel weights off. I tried changing that tire pressure sensor, didn't quite work. But we're going to throw this new, it's the Michelin Anarchy Adventure 170/60/17. We got the rotations, you got to make sure there's some arrows on the tires, you got to make sure it's going the right way on the wheel. I'll just double check that. That's only on one side, but it is supposed to go this way, and that is the correct way. These Michelin tires do not have a weight dot, so I guess they're saying it's balanced good enough from the factory. So, again, this came with the deluxe kit. This is the bead grease, and they want you to use a lot of it on both sides. So we're going to take this, it comes with this little brush, and kind of get it all over the brush. Let's see, make sure it's kind of stiff, but get that on there. So you're going to want to put this grease on the bead of the tire as well as well coat the duck head also. So I'll get that on here, on this back side. Alright, get that all over there. It does dry up, so you don't have to worry about the rim slipping, but you can clean it off, whatever's on the outside after. But you want to get that on the inside and coat that bead up nice so that it slides right over and so that the duck head can easily slip along a bit. Alright, I'd say that is well coated. Now we'll just do the duck head as well. Alright, I'll coat it up. Put that aside. Now I'm just going to double check the directionality of this tire because I really don't want to put it on backwards. So we'll just recheck for that rotation arrow. There it is. Wheel goes this way. That's the correct side. Alright. So in the Rabaconda video, the guy just put this first side on by hand. Didn't use any tools. So I will go right over the duck head, I guess, and see if we can get this on like he did in the video. Alright, so we'll get that first bead on. Kind of same thing. Let's try and get that in the drop center. And then just sort of ease this over the bead. And that did work. I gotta say, I had my doubts, but it worked. Alright, now I'm just going to try and spin this back around to the 6 o'clock position. Alright. So, oops. Wipe my hand off. Towel here. Alright. It's the same procedure pretty much for putting this on as it was for taking it off. You got to slip the bead over the duck head and then work your way around. So, let's try this out. Now make sure the opposite side is in the drop center. Push this down as much as we can here. And there's that duck head. So let's try and get the bead over it, but this time the opposite way, instead of, just like that. Alright. One thing you'll want to do is, as you're working your way around, make sure you're keeping opposite pressure. because the bead can sometimes walk itself back off as you're pushing it on. It can be pulling itself off on the other side. So, let's see how this goes. It's already popped back over. Now they do have a tool that comes with this kit that they call the drop center tool to help hold it. I did order that. It is supposed to come with my order, but it's been out of stock. So it's been a couple weeks and I haven't gotten that yet. Maybe that would make this part a little bit easier. Let's take this out. Maybe we gotta push the whole thing over this. Alright. Let's try that again. Well, that's not quite working like I was thinking. Which is why we're making this video, to see if it's as easy as they say. Maybe if we just hold it as we start, maybe that'll help make this a little bit easier. So I'm going to hold pressure on this and start working my way around. Didn't work. Try and get in there again. Alright. Nope. So that came off. Alright. Alright. Let's see. I'll try and push this over more. I don't know if it needs to go over this part too. But let's try that. Maybe you gotta go over both. So there's like there's the duck head and there's kind of a tail there. So let's see if pushing it over both of those does the trick. The way I'm doing it now, it's not holding. That seems to be working better. Oh, the bead is walking a little bit, so I'm going to hold this down. And so what I mean by walking is as I'm going around, the bead is pulling itself off. Which maybe is where that extra tool would come in handy that I have not received yet. So I'm going to jam this lever in here, try and hold it in place and hopefully accomplish the same thing. There we go. And it's on. Lock this back in place here. Alright. There you have it. Let's see if we can loosen this up. Get this out of here. Over, out. All right. There we have it. So the tool works. It is very easy. This is my first set of street tires I've ever mounted. I've done some dirt bike tires with, just levers on a stand. So I've never done a street bike tire before. This was easier than I would say doing a dirt bike tire with the tube is. Well worth the money. Well worth the money. I mean, right now the BMW dealership, you try to go there to get a tire change. I mean, they're cracking over $250, maybe $300, just to change a set of tires and mount balance. So invest in the tools. By my math, by about the third time I use this, it should pay for itself. But it'll also help me out. I tend to push my tires past their expiration dates just because I'm trying to get as much life out of them as possible, because I don't want to pay that price of getting them mounted But it's also the hassle if you don't have to make an appointment, go to a dealership, sit around for a couple hours. This, you can do it on a Saturday night at your house, or after work and whatever, and pop a new set, new tire on. It was very easy. Now I still got to go balance it, obviously, and all that. But for the amount of money I'm going to save and not having to make a trip to the dealership, well worth it. I definitely recommend the tool. So yeah, work good. I'm sure the guys in the video, they've done it 1,000 times, and now that I've done it once, the next time I go to use this, I'm sure it'll go smoother. But even for a first-time user, having never used it before, the tool worked as advertised. So I'm a fan. Thanks for watching.